we last left the fleet of dupes on their way to the very first planet to colonize. And here we have the rover team about to make first contact. There it is. Oh, and here it spawned water in the vacuum of space, so now it's being deleted by the vacuum of space. Because vacuums delete things. That obviously makes perfect sense.
They call it the Negativatron. But what can stop the unstoppable?
Step 1 is to disable all these things, because they just annoy me. I wish there was like a disable all button. So next is to land the fleet of rovers. So we have one more rover to land, but we don't have the space for it yet. And now for the final rover. So now that the pack of rovers have landed, we now have a huge pile of steel, and we can use this pile of steel to build the rocket platforms. But before we build the rocket platforms, we probably have to do the hardest thing, which is figure out where we want these platforms to be. 35, but these aren't 35. What are these? These are 25 by 7, and then these are 7s and 2s. Okay, so is there even enough room across? Yeah, yes, there is. Okay, so that goes there, and we want one there. I think that makes sense. Hold on, let me double check my 25. Wait, was that 25 height? No, it's 26 height. Do I care? No. And then I have room for 3 more. Okay, that will work. So now the rovers have to prep the landing site before I land any dupes down. And there's a couple key things they have to do. First is that they have to build ladders up to the landing modules, because it goes landing platform, steam engine, and then living quarters. So they got to be able to get up to there. And then we have the ladders going across to make sure that they can reach all the living quarters. And another thing that the bots can do is that they can deliver the steel to the rocket platforms. However, they can't actually build the rocket platforms. Also have the rover start building a central shaft to start exploring the interior of the planet. Let's see if any of the home rockets have gotten here yet. Home A, home supply, home rover. So I'm kind of waiting for the home rockets to show up before I actually land the people. Oh, this guy's trapped over here. He'll be fine. What do we have down here? Just more sandstone? Right? Give that a low priority.
This world needs only one thing. It needs a hero. One man, devilishly handsome, impossibly statuesque. The only hope.
Bert, time to put on your suit. Okay. Rivaldo, now it's your turn. Where are you? Oh, You are?
Together we, the Alliance, shall defeat the Negativatron.
And then we select you and deploy. These should be high priority. Okay, and our first rocket is not here. So I want to organize these rockets in a specific pattern on the planet surface here. And in the center, where the shaft is, I want the resupply rockets to be on either side. And then on either side of those rockets, I want the home rockets. And on the far outer wings, that's where I'll land the rover rockets. So the very first rocket I want to land here is the home rover rocket, to give these dupes a safe place to live, because currently their only life support is the clothes on their back, aka the Atmo suit. There it is. So now they have a home they can go into, and they'll be fine. Everybody's safe. Might as well mine all that. Get the home of the supply rocket here. I prefer to land the home first ahead of the supply rocket, because this guarantees a safe place for the dupes to live, and they won't have to just sit out exposed to the elements for too long. So I want to make the spaceport out of obsidian because I don't want it to get melted away. Although this is probably less of a concern because I have steam rockets and not hydrogen rockets or petroleum rockets. The steam is significantly cooler than the exhaust of the other engine types. But I also want to add a floor in here so that the exhaust kind of stays above within the rocket area, and then so that I don't get all this exhaust into the main planet. So I'm gonna redo all these ladders in obsidian just as a insurance policy here. Now it's time for the real terraforming to begin. And the first step to any good terraform is to just mine up everything that is already there. However, because we're on the water planet, there's not a whole lot of solids to mine up, and we're just gonna let the water slosh about for now. We'll deal with it later. So there is some mining to be done. However, the main step here is going to be building ladders. And just building ladders and ladders and more ladders, ladders everywhere. And we're going to build these ladders out of plastic, partly because we have a lot of plastic, and partly because you do get a run speed bonus for building them out of plastic. And we're going to be running up and down these ladders all the time, so that few percentage points on the run speed does actually matter. And it may seem like a waste, or it may seem odd that we're gonna be building on a 4-tile gap system. And right now it'll take a lot of extra dupe labor to do this. However, later on, building on 4s will make a lot of sense, and it'll actually save time later on. So it's a detriment now and a time saver later. So it will pay dividends to do this 4-gap system instead of a 7-gap system. Who's left up there? Rovers don't matter. The home, the cargo. What? What? Oh, I didn't put his suit on. Oh no. I forgot to put his suit on. 9? You gonna do it? He is gonna do it. He'll be fine. One more rocket landed. Okay, these should be higher priority. So I want everybody to land here. We have a cool slush geyser here. Let me get that analyzed. What is it's doing? Polluted water. Do I care if these get mixed? Yeah, I really don't care if everything gets mixed here, so. For now, we're just building ladders. Mining. Did they not do anything? Did I run out of obsidian? Oh my god, I did run out of obsidian. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove the ladders in front of the Spacefarer module because you don't actually need these ladders here to traverse across it. Time to land Home B, Rover A, Rover B. Okay, so who's left? So there's only one rocket remaining, and that's Lyra, who's basically flying cargo in the cargo rocket. But she's almost here. Now they have a giant list of commands to do. Just gotta give them time to complete them now. Oh. Oh. There goes a little rover. Falling. Oh, look at all this stuff you can dig. Yeah, all the rovers can go dig that. They're all going in here, and that's because that's where all the plastic is. Oh, wrong one. Wait, where are you here? Alright. Let's take a look at our progress so far. Add more ladders. Maybe I'm gonna cancel that one for the moment. Add even more ladders. Look at that. Perfectly lined up. And then also mine all of this. And then, so in order to speed things up a little bit, what I think I'm gonna do is add a little dropper here. So we can look inside the rockets. We can see that we're 10 days in. T minus 10. Or D minus 10? Guess we'll go with D-Day was 10 days ago, huh? So the goal of this dropper is so that we can drop a whole bunch of plastic down to the bottom of the planet. This way, when the dupes go to pick up plastic to build things, they don't have to go all the way to the top of the planet to get the plastic. And in order to do this, we're going to set the dropper to a high priority and set it to sweep only. And then we'll go inside the rocket here and manually select a bunch of stacks to go to be swept. And each one of these stacks is like the max stack size of 25,000 kilograms or 25 tons. So this is actually quite a lot of plastic we're going to move here. Eventually. Oh, there it is. They're just grabbing it out of midair as it falls down. Oh, it falls so slow in water. Oh my, I didn't realize it fell so slow. That means they can just grab it out of the air as it's falling. Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. Okay. Periodic plastic. Seems pretty good. we can look at the counters and see that we're 11 days in, or D minus 11, and the bots have about half a battery left, and we've made quite a bit of progress on the ladder building front, and it looks like we might have found the bottom of the map, although not quite. I think there's something below this, and we found one of these ruined things at the bottom here, and what we really need is more ladders. More ladders. And we are just going to dig all of this, so I'll also put that on a dig command. Also, we are just going to destroy all of this stuff. In the past, I would have saved this because I thought it was cool, but I don't know, in my opinion, it's just way too much work. So I don't bother trying to save this stuff anymore. This door is kind of annoying because you have to submit the bioscan before you can destroy it. But in order to submit the bioscan, you have to be on the outside of the door, which means you have to be on the left side of this door. It can only be unlocked from the outside, not from the inside. Oh. Oh. They're gonna get trapped down here? Don't think so. I don't want anybody to get trapped down here, so I need to prioritize some of this. Uh-oh. Oh my god. How'd you get down there? How the heck did you get down there? Okay. That's all the remaining ladders to be built. So all this has to be mined as well. So we are now D plus 15 days in. About 7 or 8 of those days were travel and another 7 days of work. So let's go ahead and see what kind of progress we have so far. A bunch of ladders. Looks like I missed these. We've already analyzed the cool slush geyser, but we need to analyze the saltwater geyser now too. Also need to destroy all of these ruined tiles. This looks like the dupes never submitted the bioscan, and that's because they couldn't get to the outside or to the left of the door, so I'm gonna have to build some ladders there so they can actually reach it. Looks like I missed the corner too. Overall, it looks like we almost have mined everything, laddered up the entire world, and basically destroyed everything so far. Now we can start moving on to the next step, and the next step is bricking up the world. And by bricking up the world, I mean literally fill in every tile I'm not using with a plastic block. Since the dupes are well known to get themselves stuck into unique situations, it's usually best to start by just doing an outline layer, and the outline layer consists of one layer of blocks. So the rovers have about 30, like a day and a half, maybe 2 days left. Kind of makes sense. Got a couple more cleanup things to do. With the ladders there, the dupes will finally be able to access the outside of the door, and then once they submit the bioscan, then I can finally delete the door. This door is just very annoying to deal with. Right now, all the resources we mined are just sitting across the bottom of the planet, and eventually I want to move all these into the planetary cargo rocket to move them back home. However, I'm going to first brick up the world because when I add bricks everywhere, this will push all the materials closer together and it'll push the materials closer to the top, which means that when I actually go to put them inside the rocket, they'll be closer to the rocket. So right now I'll just kind of let them slosh about wherever they kind of end up. Same with the water, I'll just let it kind of slosh about. So it looks like the border is just about complete. All the rovers have perished now, so we can deconstruct their bodies to recoup the steel cost. And here we have a brick that was installed out of order. So the outer bricks are given a higher priority, such that in theory they get done first. However, depending how orders are delivered and travel times, sometimes these orders get executed out of priority order, and this can be a real problem when trying to brick up everything. Luckily, because we did the test colonization world, I knew of this problem, and I figured out how to fix it. Well, mostly fix it. So when you do the 4-gap ladder system, every tile can be reached from 2 directions, from above and from below. This double access to every single tile. If a brick or 2 is placed out of priority order, there's still a high chance that coming from a different angle, the brick will be able to be placed. And that's why I use the 4-gap system. And as you'll see later, this prevents most issues from happening, although it's not foolproof. Let's take a look at our resources and see what we actually mined on this planet. Coal, lime, 25 tons of lime. That's a lot of lime. Some dirt, who cares? Some sand, who cares? I'll add plastic to the tracking list. A little bit of iron, a lot of abyssalite. Where is the graphite? The whole reason we're here. Oh, there it is. Oh, a lot of fossil too. Wow, that's a lot of lime. Okay, and then a lot of sandstone. The usual suspects. And nothing else. Okay. let's go ahead and dump some more plastic down. Now I think I have everything prepped in order to start the main building event, and that is to brick up the world. Now we have a 9 thick outline on each side, and it should be priority of 9 on the outside going down to what on the inside. And now we let it run and hope that they do everything in order. This will make most of the orders go in order, right? Like most of it will be fine, but there'll probably be like a dozen or so that just for some reason get messed up. And those are kind of annoying to fix, but doing it this way means that in general I have to do the least amount of work then. Oh no. They messed up on the corner. This is annoying. Oh, this can be such a mess sometimes. So it looks like we've completed the first wall here, or the first perimeter. And it doesn't look like there were any more issues with skipping priority. Let's see, how many days in are we? It is day 25. So for these next couple of layers, I'm just going to do the bottom edge. And this is because, well, it turns out that the world is flat and it is a rectangle. One side is longer than the other sides. So take that, flat earthers. You're half right. The world is flat, but it's not a circle, it's a rectangle. So the dupes build about 450 tiles per day, or I should say per cycle, which is a lot, I guess. Hold on. Alright, continuing on. I think for having 15 dupes on a completely foreign planet, that's pretty quick, but I don't really have a reference point. The building will actually get quicker over time because the first couple layers are the outer border layers, so they're like the furthest away, so they require the longest running time. But as we do more and more layers and they get closer to the top and they get closer to the central shaft, pause again. Continue again. These later layers will go quicker because they're just not as far away. So you may ask yourself, or you may ask me, what is the plan with all of this water, right? Because up till now, I've just been kind of sloshing it around and pushing it around to wherever it kind of ends up. But what's the ultimate goal with all this water? And, you're not gonna like it, but the thing is, I don't need it. I really just don't need all this water. So, I'm just gonna keep wrecking in the world and pushing more and more of it out into space because, my goal is actually just drain it all into space anyways. So I might as well just let that keep happening. So that's the plan with all the water that already exists on the water planet, but per the rules of Max Colonization, I have to exploit all the natural resources. And the natural resources on this map are 2 water geysers. So I have to exploit both of these water geysers with max geotuning. So how am I going to do that? Well, I'm not, or at least not yet. Or at least not in this trip. So that's going to happen in a later trip. The ordering got messed up in one spot. Oh well. Now it's fixed. As I was saying, right now I just don't need the water, and as shown by deleting an entire planet's worth of water, I also don't need 2 geysers worth of water. So for now, I'm just gonna brick them up, and in a later expedition, I'll exploit them both with max geotuning. So it is now D plus 40 days, about 8 days of space travel and 32 days of actual working days, and it looks like the world is now basically terraformed and it's one big plastic brick. Just as it should be. Looks like the water just kind of got shoved up, and it will continue to get deleted into space, which is good. But I also would like to get rid of all this other extra water. So I'm going to need to set up a pump to vent the rest of the water into space. And then the other thing is that a lot of the debris got stacked up nicely here. So it used to be, you know, all spread across the bottom, but from the bricking, it's now basically all like right here, which means it's a lot closer to the top. And I need to pick up all this debris as well. So I think that's rather simple because you just do that and then you just do that. They'll pick them up and drop them off into here. And copy that. So as we're getting to the final stages here, I need to start setting up these rockets for future missions. So that means I need to make a fleet-wide refueling, basically. So, gas port. The entombed artifacts. Alright, so I have to make a unentomber. Or what is... So this guy is pulling steam from the steam cargo and then distributing it to all the steam engines. I can now activate this guy, I think. Yep, and I'll just start pumping. As you can see, this is where the strength really pays off, because they're picking up like 3,000 kilograms in one pick. They're going like 2 tons, 2 tons, 3 tons, 3 tons, 2.5 tons. Like, this is where the strength training really pays off. We got a honey jar and a sink. Okay. In order to get the fleet ready for the next colonization, we had to refill all the steam engines with steam. But another thing we have to refuel is these rover rockets, because on the rover rockets we have trailblazers and rovers. And in order to deploy rovers and trailblazers on the next planet, we need to refill these. Also, I need to build some ladders going up to the top, to the nose cone, so that we can actually put another astronaut in there. Or I should say another duplanaut? Duplanaut? Must have just taken a break just before doing this section. And on that break, I must have gotten like a sip of coffee, or probably more like a whole mug of coffee, because oh my god, in the footage here, all I'm doing is just doing WASD, 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 WASD. It is nauseating to watch back at 1 time speed, let alone 2 or 4 times speed. So you just get a still image instead. So we can take a look inside our planetary cargo. Oh, there's quite a lot of stuff here. I love that sound where it just goes. That's cool. So I don't think there's a whole lot left here. No, there really isn't. There's definitely some over there, but I mean that's kind of it for this planet. We've mined everything, and then we laddered it so we could brick it up, and then we exploited all the natural resources that we wanted, and we've just about transported all the resources back into the rocket. I think this is what is this, 24, so 44 days later, and we're basically done with the world. I mean, that seems pretty good. So I guess I gotta start planning for the next planet so far. When I built the fleet, I packed in enough life support resources to support all the dupes for about 100 cycles. Or I should say 100 cycles plus another 20 cycles or so of buffer. Since we're only 44 cycles in, and that includes all the space travel so far, instead of making a pit stop, we're going to go to the next planet to colonize first. And the next planet we're going to colonize here is the ice planet, partly because I want the iron that's there, and partly because that's like only other planet that's actually in range, because we are using steam engines, and the steam engines only have a range of 10. So we started out on the home base, and then we went to the water planet where we are now, and then we're going to go to the ice planet, and then after colonizing the ice planet, we're going to have to do a pit stop back to the main base. Like we did on the first journey of the fleet, we have to send the rover rockets first because they're the slowest, but we also want them to get there first because the rover rockets hold the rovers and the trailblazers, which are going to get deployed before any rockets actually land. So we need to send these rockets now. Can they not reach them? What's going on? Who's their pilot? What happened? The pilot get deleted? I don't know why the pilot got deleted. So, oh god, who was the pilot? Now maybe they'll try and get to the rocket. Yeah, okay. I don't know, that's annoying. Okay, and 9 cycles. First I need to unequip suit. Oh god, he went with a 5% suit. Oh no. I guess he'll be fine. That's annoying. And he has a 77%. Okay, well, Bert will be fine. Alright, so those guys are on to their way. I should also send their home. And they're at a crossroads. And I want this to keep running, but when this launches, it'll just throw all kinds of steam out. So since it's just the pump running, I'll just leave 1 solar panel. I'll just put a wall up. I guess I could try and fit 2 in here. Does that work? Oh, that would work out really well, actually. I should really go up a few more. That's good. So this should protect solar panels reasonably. Maybe not perfectly, but I guess a few more cleanup operations here. We'll put a bottle up here, mop up some of this. And we'll clean this up. So this is pretty much how I'm gonna leave the planet. This is the colonization of the first planet, I guess. In order to accomplish this feat of terraforming, I brought along with me a whole bunch of consumable resources. So I still have plenty of life support. I used less than half. I also have plenty of rocket fuel left because I brought along 3 full fleet-wide refuels and I've only used 1 so far. In order to break up the world, I ended up using 922 tons of plastic. In my original estimate, I said about 1,000 tons per planet, so I was about right on that one. Although something I was completely off on was the reed fiber usage. I brought 2,000 units of reed fiber for the atmosuit repairs, and I only ended up using 38. And then on top of those 2,000 reed fibers, I brought 120 spare atmosuits. And, well, all those suits are still sitting in the cargo rocket. And you may ask me, why did I bring so many atmosuits? And the thing is, on my test colonization run, I was just using so many atmosuits. And the reason why I was going through so many atmosuits was because I hadn't given my dupes the suit sustainability training. I think that's what the talent's called. It seems like an obvious thing I should have done in the first place, and I suppose in hindsight it is pretty obvious, but I definitely overreacted and brought a few too many spares. I think it's time to send everybody else. I'll leave one crew here for the moment to finish up the final cleaning up operations, but everybody else can head on to the next planet. So it looks like, oh god, that's so close. They just barely got protected. Oh, that's so close. Everybody's on their way. Right, so you need to take your suit off. And then cargo needs to take their suit off. Oh, poor Lyra here. It's so laggy. Negative 700 decor. I mean, this is the problem here is like, yeah, negative 700 decor because of the all the debris just sitting there. What is that? Negative 622 debris. I guess that means there's 66 piles of debris sitting here. Anyways, that's why in the first trip when the rocket's empty, maybe you don't need to give her the sedative, but how for sure you have to. Oh well.